Hi everyone, welcome to the breakout session, Talk and Play, Discovering Math Through Children's Literature. The California Early Math Project team will begin their presentation shortly. Before we begin, take this time to get a piece of paper and writing utensil so you can participate alongside us during our activity section.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Dana McVey, Early Math Project team member. I'm joined by my colleagues, Haley Gordon, Naomi Reeley, Makenna Huey, and Carolyn Pfister. Children's literature is an excellent access point to strengthen family comfort with early math and children's understanding of important mathematical concepts. In this session, we'll explore how 3 books, Double the Ducks, Cook It, and the Shape Song Swingalong might be used to inspire mathematical conversations, routines, and play. We'll also take a look at reading strategies and vocabulary development. Most children's books, even those without an apparent mathematical connections, can be used to support children's success with math. All of the books that the Early Math Project team reviews have their own original activities. Today, we'll be trying several activities that have been designed to accompany the Shape Song Swingalong. Get ready to play. Many adults, including those who do not consider themselves math people, already read with children. By leveraging a few simple strategies, adults can use children's books as a foundation for mathematical conversation and exploration in children's ongoing daily routine. If you're interested in learning more about the connection between math and literature, please check out the presentation at the link on your screen. We will share 2 of the free resources available on the Early Math Project website. The Early Math Project creates guides and original activities for many children's books. They provide ideas for mathematical conversations and exploration. Notice as we use portions of 3 reviews that suggestions, explorations, games, and questions are designed to highlight the mathematical concepts and opportunities within the story. We will be exploring the math connections in 3 books today. Double the Ducks by Stuart J. Murphy, Cook It by Georgie Burkett, and The Shape Song Swingalong by Steve Songs. We want to give a special thanks to Stuart J. Murphy for reading Double the Ducks and to Georgie Burkett and Child's Play for permission to read and share Cook It. The video for Shape Song Swingalong is available on YouTube.
Stuart Murphy will read his book, Double the Ducks, using prompts from the Early Math Project's book guides. The book guides for the 3 books we're exploring today are included in the materials for this presentation, and we'll share a link for additional guides at the end of the presentation.
Hi, my name is Stuart J. Murphy. I'm the author of the Math Start series. Math Start is a series of 63 books that teach mathematical concepts in the context of stories. Just think, storybooks about math. Can't that be fun? I think so. I'm going to show you. I'm going to read one of my books to you today. That book is right here. It's called Double the Ducks. Now take a look at the cover. What do you think this book might be about? Well, it's certainly going to be about a boy. Look at him. He's so big and happy on the cover. And I bet it's going to be about ducks too. And it's going to be about doubling. So let's talk about doubling just a little bit first before we start the story. Just think what doubles are. You can double any number. You can have lots of fun with doubling. Let's take, for example, 2. What if you have 2 somethings, 2 pennies, 2 buttons, 2 pencils? Say you have 2 pencils, so you've got 2, and you want to double them, so then you have 2 more. That's double the pencils. And so you've got 1, 2, 1, 2. And then if you add them all together, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's double the pencils. You could do it with 5. Say if you had 5 cookies. Wouldn't it be yummy to have 5 more to double those cookies? So then you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Double the cookies. And how many in all would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yummy. Now we're going to go back to my book and back to doubling. We're going to open it up and you're going to see the title page of the book. But first, I almost forgot. You're going to see that boy with all those ducks behind him. Look at them. Aren't they having a good time? And look at him. Isn't he one happy fellow? And so I'm going to open the book to the title page now, and let's read the title together. There it is right now. Double the ducks. Can you say that with me? Double the ducks. Now, on the next page, one of those ducks has decided to say hello to all of you. And there he is, waving to you and inviting you into the story. Come on, let's read it together. I'm one busy person, as you can see, with a flock of 5 little ducks. One person, one. It takes lots of work. There's just one of me to look after my 5 little ducks. Now let's count those ducks down there. They're all right behind the boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have only 2 hands and so much to do to look after my 5 little ducks. 2 hands, 2. I give them their food. I bring 3 sacks a day to feed my 5 little ducks. There are those 3 sacks, and there's that number 3. With 4 bundles of hay, I make cozy nests to shelter my 5 little ducks. 1, 2, 3, 4 bundles of hay. 4. And look at all those ducks under their blanket. Don't they look nice and cozy? My ducks splash and slide. They honk, quack, and glide. It's fun to have 5 little ducks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. But my 5 little ducks went for a walk, and each of them brought back a friend. Look at all the ducks that we have now. I have double the ducks, and it's double the work to take care of my 10 little ducks. Let's look at those 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 has been doubled. Now let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 ducks in all. I need double the hay, 8 bundles in all, to make nests for my 10 little bucks. I need double the food, 6 sacks a day, to feed my 10 little ducks. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bundles of hay. I need double the hands. That's 4 hands in all to take care of my 10 little ducks. 4 hands. And there's the numeral 4. To have double the hands, I would need 2 of me. 2 of me to look after my 10 little ducks. It looks like I need a friend too. Maybe you. Or maybe you.
When Stuart read Double the Ducks, he modeled the conversation and observation strategies suggested in the book guide. Recall that he looked at the book's cover, read the book title, and asked what you thought would happen in the story. Predicting is an important strategy. It encourages active involvement and critical thinking as children anticipate what will happen in the story based upon observations of the story's title, words, patterns, and illustrations. It encourages children to connect their own personal experiences with the story. Stuart also talked about what it means to double something and demonstrated the concept with his fingers and counting. Background knowledge is important. When the concept of doubling appears in the story, children already had enough familiarity with the term that it didn't become a distraction. Foundational information also allows them to meaningfully understand what is taking place in the story, understand the text, make inferences, and construct their own meaning. This is particularly important for children who are learning more than one language or who haven't had exposure to a lot of rich conversation and vocabulary. Stewart also stopped in several places in the story to reinforce math ideas. For example, he counted the ducks and pointed out how numbers in the story were written as numerals. He pointed out the locations of the ducks too, at one point observing that the ducks were behind the boy. He also noted that the ducks were under their blankets. These simple observations support children's understanding of positional words and spatial relationships. He did this in ways that didn't interrupt the flow of the story while emphasizing important mathematical ideas. Each of the math guides has activities to try after you've finished reading the story. One of the ideas for Double the Ducks is to play finger doubling games. Let's try this now. Haley, will you be my partner?
Of course.
Okay, if you hold up any number of fingers, I'll mirror what you do by holding up the same number of fingers. Then we'll count together to see what we have when we double the number of fingers that you've shown.
Okay.
All right, so Haley is showing me 3 fingers. So I will put up 3 of my own fingers and let's count what we have. We have 1, 2, 3.
And I have 1, 2, 3.
So when we double Haley's 3 fingers, we have altogether 1, 2, 3.
4, 5, 6.
Perfect. 6 is double 3. Another idea from the book guide is to practice doubling with mirror images. By placing a small group of objects in front of the mirror, the actual objects and their mirror images can be counted to find the doubled number. So let's try some doubling practice using a mirror. I've got these 4 counters. I'm going to place them in front of my mirror. Then let's count them. We'll count both the counters and their reflection. Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and the reflected images 1, 2, 3, 4. So altogether, when I've doubled these, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When I double the number 4, I get 8. Let's try with something else. Here I have 3 pens. I'll place these also in front of the mirror. And I will count the reflections and the pens themselves. 1, 2, 3. In the reflected part, 1, 2, 3. And all together, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a great way for children to practice the idea of doubling and get some counting practice in too. All right, everyone, let's hand this over to Naomi, who's going to explore the book, Cook It.
We'll look at 2 other sections of the book guides with the book, Cook It. These parts of the book guide center on adding math conversation and exploration to what families already are doing in their daily routines. We want to make sure that they can do it easily and without the need for advanced preparation and planning. Again, our thanks and appreciation to Georgie Burkett and Child's Play for permission to read and share this book with you all today. Cook It is about a daughter and father preparing to cook, shopping, and cooking together. We hope you enjoy the book as much as we do.
Cook It by Georgie Burkett. What's for dinner? Will you help me choose? What do we need to buy? Let's make a list. Can you predict what they will make? Are we nearly there yet? Not far now. Look, can you see the shops? There they are. Lots of vegetables. Which do you like best? My favorite is the eggplant. What is your favorite? What are those? How many mushrooms? How many mushrooms do you think she'll get? Can we buy some green olives and cheese? Phew, this flour is heavy. Hold it tight. What else weighs as much as a flour bag? Have we got it all? Put it on the counter. How much did it cost? Will I get change? Clean hands. Will you unpack the bags? Shall we weigh the flour? Is that enough? Look, they're using a scale to weigh the flour. Ooh, this feels squishy. It's very messy. Rolling is hard work. This is a funny shape. What shape do you think it's going to become? Peepo! How many slices do we need? Let's count how many slices they already have. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many more do you think they'll cut? I can cut mushrooms with my toy knife. Can you spread it out? This smells good. I've made a face. What shall I put on next? What do you think she'll put on next? How long will it take to cook? I can't wait. Look, they're using a timer to record how long it's going to take for it to cook. Who's home for dinner? Where's my cup? Who made this pizza? It's really tasty. Can I have some more? Salad too? You're doing a great job clearing up. She's helping clean up after dinner. The end. We hope you enjoyed the book Cook It by Georgie Burkett.
When a book is suitable for infants and toddlers, we include a section named Extension Conversations during daily routines with infants and toddlers. We also include a section named Questions for Mathematical Thinking in each of our book guides. Let's explore these sections together. After reading, you can explore extension conversations during everyday routines with infants and toddlers. These extend math learning by incorporating math with things you are already doing. On the screen, you will see a snack time suggestion. Snack is a great time to incorporate math in your day. Try making a yummy pattern. Start with an AB pattern. I'll model this with pretzel slices and nectarine slices. Start with a pretzel slice, nectarine slice, pretzel slice, nectarine slice. We have A, B, A, B. What comes next? Pretzel, nectarine, pretzel, nectarine, pretzel. When making these patterns with children, point out the pattern and talk about what comes next. If they're ready, ask them to continue the pattern or come up with a more complex pattern. Enjoy your tasty snack patterns.
There's many ways to make patterns. As you can see, we made a snack pattern. What type of pattern can you make now? Join the team as they practice making patterns with things around them. Carolyn, it looks like you've completed a pattern. Can you tell us what you did?
Sure. I started with a red peg, and I followed it with another red peg, and then yellow, and then an orange. And then I went back to my original 2 red pegs, a yellow peg, and then the orange peg.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Haley, it looks like you have a different type of pattern.
Yes, I did an AABB pattern with binder clips and paper clips. So I started with 2 binder clips, and then I followed with 2 paper clips, then 2 more binder clips, and finally 2 paper clips.
Awesome. Thanks, Haley. What did you do, Dana?
I used 2 different size paper clips and some paper scraps to make an ABC pattern with a large, a small paper clip, and then a piece of paper. A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. So large, small, paper scrap. Large, small, paper scrap. Large, small, and a paper scrap.
Thanks for sharing, Dana. Makenna, you look like you have a different type of pattern too.
Yeah, so I also created an AABB pattern similar to Haley. So I started out with 1 orange marker, 1 orange marker, 1 yellow marker, 1 yellow marker, 1 orange marker, and then another orange marker. So AABB AA.
Awesome. Thank you. See, there's many ways to make patterns. I made another snack pattern. I made an AAB pattern with 2 pretzels, 1, 2, and 1 nectarine slice. 2 pretzels, 1, 2, and 1 nectarine slice. Have fun exploring different patterns with snacks and other things around you. Thanks for playing along.
Another great opportunity to include math is during cleanup time after a meal. Finding which container may be the best fit for the leftover food strengthens children's spatial reasoning abilities. While you are cleaning up the kitchen, explore which container is just the right fit. Talk about the containers you are exploring. Are they too small, too large, or just the right size? You can also explore different container sizes when packing a snack or packing lunch. The book guides also include questions for mathematical thinking. The questions are a little different from typical reading comprehension questions because they're designed to encourage mathematical thinking and problem solving. Many of the questions ask the child to explain their reasoning, why they think something is so, how they might go about proving it, or how they could test to see whether something makes sense. These types of questions give a lot of insight into the child's thinking and reasoning, which may prompt other questions, explorations, and conversations. If your child is not ready to participate in the conversation, you can still ask the questions and narrate the responses to provide exposure to the vocabulary and concepts. After reading the story, you might ask a child to tell you about what they would do if they ran out of an ingredient while cooking. This type of question prompts problem solving.
Would they stop and make a trip to the store? Ask a neighbor or substitute another ingredient. If you ask the question, if you made a pizza, what shape would it be? The child can demonstrate the familiarity with the shape names or use their imagination to consider pizza beyond the typical circle and square. It gives the adult a sense of which shapes are familiar to the child and potentially becomes an opportunity to learn about some new shapes. When exploring math, children naturally begin to acquire vocabulary that helps them express their strategies and knowledge. A good math vocabulary is important because it provides a foundation for problem solving, learning mathematical operations, and describing sequences, the attributes of objects, and the nature of patterns around us. A good math vocabulary helps children make sense of the world around them. Each book review gets a list of math-related vocabulary in the story. While reading, make sure the child understands the words. When uncertain whether the child understands a word's meaning, try using it conversationally in a variety of ways. Ask questions that allow your child to test out the word in their responses. Ask the child to tell you what they think the word means within the context of the story. And if words still pose a challenge, look them up in a dictionary. And later, encourage them to use their new words when talking with others.
Okay. Next, we'll listen to the Shape Song Swingalong by Steve Songs. Then we'll try a few different activities the early math project team created to accompany this catchy book.
I have a shape collection and I use it to create anything I want to see or be or do or make. Is it work? Is it play? Is it music? Is it art? With my shape collection, all I need to do is start with a line, circle, circle, square, 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 triangle, triangle. I drew a city with big skyscrapers. I drew people in the streets. It started on the paper with a line, circle, circle, square, 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 triangle, triangle. I drew boats out on the water. I drew a castle on the sand. I drew a beachside water slide over the ride. And I never even had to stand in line, circle, circle, square, 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 triangle, triangle. Party in the park, the DJ was a monkey. Everybody there was dancing, but no one was as funky as the lion. Circle, circle, square, 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 triangle, triangle. Can you dance like a shape? Shall we do then change into another? That's a funny move to make. Show your sister or your brother. Here at the Shape Song Swingalong show. Come on, everybody, let's sing it together. We can do the line, circle, circle, square, 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 triangle, triangle, line, circle, circle, square, 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 triangle, triangle. We make shapes in the day, and when the lights go out, we make shapes while we sleep, because we're always dreaming about lines, circles, circles, squares, 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 triangles, triangles, line, circles, circles, square, 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 triangle, triangle, line, circle, circle, square, 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 triangle, triangle, line, circle, circle, square, 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 triangle, triangle, line, circle, circle, square, 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 triangle, triangle,
So let's try a shape song stretch break. Let's start by making a short line with our bodies. How will you do this? With your finger or your arm maybe? Let's try it. Will your line be vertical or horizontal? What about diagonal? All right. I see we all have some lines going on. Now, can we try making that line even longer? Can we use our whole bodies? See, we have some diagonal lines going on, some vertical lines. Awesome. All right. So now let's make a circle. Let's start with a small circle using just our fingers. Can we make a bigger circle using both of our arms? Can we stretch that circle over to the left? What about to the right? Can you make an even bigger circle with your body? I wonder what other ways you can make a circle. Can you make one with your tongues? All right. Finally, let's go into one more shape. Can we make a triangle with our bodies? I wonder how each of you will do this. Will you use your fingers, your arms, or maybe your legs? All right, we have a lot of different triangles going on. Looks great. Looks like some of us use our fingers, some of us use our whole arms. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for playing along with our Shape Song Stretch Break. Now we're going to move into another activity. This one is called Shape Song Build a Shape. So we're going to build a shape. Go ahead and grab whatever you have on hand. It may be pens, pencils, hair ties, paper clips, your headphone cords, anything that you have around you. And then with those objects, I challenge you to create a line, circle, triangle, and a square.
Carolyn, what are you thinking about making with your Post-its?
Well, I was kind of thinking about origami a little bit and seeing if I could fold a couple of different looking triangles.
Ooh,
with
I
the
like that
Post-it.
idea.
Thanks, Naomi.
I think I'm going to use my Post-it to make a perfect square, or try to.
Makenna, are those your colorful shapes that you've made with pens?
They are my colorful shapes. I use the same materials that I used to make that AABB pattern.
Nice. I'm finding that my triangles would really rather be quadrilaterals. But I'm winning.
Haley, can you tell us a little bit about the shapes that you made?
Sure, I made a star using paper clips, and I didn't realize how many paper clips it would take to make a star. I'm glad I have a lot on hand. And then I also used a hair tie to make a circle. And here I have a square that I made by using 2 pens and a bracelet to form the other 2 sides.
Very nice. How many paper clips did it take for you to make this star shape?
Oh
I'm
God.
curious.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It took 10 paper clips.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So once you finish making your first set of shapes, you may choose other shapes to make. Maybe you'll make a hexagon, an octagon, a pentagon, or something else. Carolyn, it looks like you transformed your shapes. Can you tell us about it?
Well, I actually turned the pens for a little while into a triangle, and then I thought it would be fun to make a pentagon. So I added another 2 pens to do that. And then I added my coiled up computer cable to make the circle. But I think I'm going to transform this pentagon into a hexagon. I think that's where I'm going next.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of items on your desk. Can you walk us through the things that you're making?
I made a circle from earlier with my cable, and I also made a little triangle. I decided to not make triangles out of my Post-it like Carolyn, but make a rectangle by combining 2. And then I also folded my glasses cleaner cloth to make a square. And then I was working on my last shape up here. I'm just trying to find something that could be that 4th line. So when I find it, I'll show everyone my completed shape.
Dana, can you tell us about the shape that you made?
I was working with a tape measure and some paper clips, and I was working on a star, but it ended up making a much better heart.
Very creative and very nice. What about you, Haley? It looks like you have some different shapes going on your desk.
Yeah, so I took the paper clips from my star and transformed them into 3 smaller shapes. Here I have a really small triangle made with 3 paper clips. And then I made a square using 4. And then I also was able to make a rectangle using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paper clips.
Very nice.
I made kind of a fun curvilinear triangle with the Post-it notes.
That's very creative. So as you can see, there are a lot of different ways to play this activity and a lot of different items and objects you can use that you have around the house to build shapes. You can also do this activity outside in nature. Maybe when you're on a nature walk, you can collect sticks and leaves or blades of grass and make shapes out of those items. All right, well, thank you everyone for playing along with us in the shape song, Build a Shape. We have one final activity that we are going to do together. And for this activity, you will need a pad of paper and something to write with. So either a pen, a highlighter, or a marker. I'll go ahead and I'll give everyone a minute to grab their supplies. And now in this activity, you'll need to listen very carefully and draw what I describe. Be sure to listen to the entire instruction so you know where to place the shapes, how to orient them, and what size to draw them. This activity is called Shape Song, Make This Shape. So it looks like everyone has a piece of paper and something to write with. So first, in the middle of your paper, draw a rectangle that is about 3 inches long and 1 inch wide. The longest side of the rectangle should be drawn vertically on your paper. Next, you're going to draw 2 semicircles inside of the rectangle. A semicircle should be drawn on each of the longer sides of the rectangle, but do not need to be as long as the length of the rectangle. Now, go ahead and draw a small equilateral triangle in the middle of the rectangle. Only one of the vertices should point downward towards the bottom of the rectangle. Above that small triangle, draw two small circles. Make sure that they touch each other and are side by side. Once you've drawn your circles, go ahead and draw a dot inside each of the circles. And finally, you're going to go to the bottom edge of the rectangle. Draw two more small equilateral triangles. Draw them so that a single vertex of each triangle is touching the outside line of the bottom of the rectangle. And once you're done, go ahead and take a step back and examine your drawing. What did you create? Dana, can you tell us about the picture that you made?
Mine looks a little like a penguin.
Very cute. What about you, Carolyn? What does your picture look like?
That's my picture. And I think he looks a little bit like an owl.
Very nice. Naomi, how'd your drawing turn out?
I think mine kind of looks like a cartoon. But I also kind of think it looks like a penguin.
Very cute. And Haley, what about you? Can you tell us about your drawing?
Sure. Mine looks like a really funny bird. I noticed that my semicircles are a bit smaller than everyone else's and more towards the bottom instead of centered. But he looks cute.
Very nice. Everyone's drawings look so great. So that is our last activity for today. Thank you all so much for playing along with us.
You can find reading resources, both literature reviews and book guides at www.earlymathca.org. We shared content from the first 2 pages of several book guides today. The first 2 pages of the book guides are a standalone document suitable for home and community settings. Pages 3 and beyond of the book guides are designed for people who want more detailed information about the mathematical concepts in the book or links to the Common Core standards for mathematics. You will notice at earlymathca.org that some books have expanded and simplified reviews. Select the version that's most appropriate for your intended audience. For example, if using the reviews for a family math night, it might be more appropriate to share the more compact edition. All of the resources at the Early Math Project website and Count, Play, Explore website are free. We appreciate hearing how you use them and welcome suggestions to make them more useful and relevant. If there's a book you think should be reviewed by the Early Math Project team, please let us know. The Early Math Project website also has lots of free activities. Each book our team reviews has one or more accompanying activities. The majority of these activities don't require much advanced planning and use free or low-cost materials. We tried some of these for the Shape Song Swingalong. On the slide, you'll notice there are activities to accompany all 3 of the books we explored today. The activities are written up in a format that makes them easy to send home for families to try together or to use as self-guided or teacher-led activities in the classroom, center, or at a family math night. If you use them, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for joining us today. Stay in touch.